Hi, my name is Deborah Armstrong, and I'm with Armstrong Empowerment Coaching, and I help African American female executives navigate leadership challenges by removing their mental blocks and limiting beliefs. And today I am so excited because I have a special guest, Alberni, who is going to be sharing her wisdom and knowledge with us. So I just wanted to say thank you for joining me, and I'd like to ask you just to tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here this morning. Again, my name's Alberni Ferguson Beckinson. I have been in HR for 15 years. I've held various roles in this field. I have worked in retail. I have worked in manufacturing. I have worked in building services. I've worked in the salon industry, which was very fascinating. I also am a real estate agent on the side. I'm busy to say the least, but um, I have had a very diverse level of experience working for those different industries. I'm grateful to be here. Happy to help expand on any of that.
Okay, well, thank you so much. It's amazing to meet women that have been in an industry for so long as you, for 15 years. Because you have been in there for so long, what are the things that you think that you learned to help you to be able to climb the ladder of success?
That's a really great question. For me, I never entered my career saying, okay, well, I need to get to this step in 3 years, and then I need to get to this step in the next 3 years. I've always just been focused on bringing my best self to my role. Um, Being a solid leader, a leader that's passionate, a leader that is empathetic, a leader that instills a sense of trust on their team, a leader that drives the team towards excellence. I've really always just been focused there. And I believe if you just focus on being your best self and showing up at work, right? Those opportunities will come. You don't necessarily need to go knock on the doors, right? If you show up well every day, your name will be brought up in rooms that you don't know.
Oh,
I've been blessed. I have not um, intentionally climbed the ladder, if you will. I have just focused on learning as much as I can about whatever business I'm in and being an excellent business partner. I think that's key. So my career started at Target Corporation, and it, let me sidebar to say I didn't even start off wanting to do HR. That was nowhere in my mind at all. I was a math major in school, so I wanted to be a statistician or I wanted to be an actuarial scientist. But, I also wanted a job right after school. So the job I got right after school was at Target, and Target really saw the potential in me to be in this field, and they moved me to HR within their stores. I'm grateful for that opportunity. But what I did with that opportunity first, as my very first professional job was just really digging into understanding every single department. I was on the floor more than I was in my office. And so that learning about the business and being very business focused is really what helped catapult me, in my mind, through various steps of my career.
right. Okay. That's really amazing. So I really liked when you said that you were eager to be a partner with other people. You realize the importance of having what I call allies and people that you can network to help you to move up the ladder, for lack of better words. So that's amazing. Thank you. Okay. So I also, as I mentioned, a little bit earlier about who I am and what I do, I just wanted to share with you that the pro purpose of this podcast, of course, is to help African American women executives that navigate their challenges in the workforce. And with that being said, we as African Americans have our own unique challenge as well. And I know that the unique challenges that we face are also unique challenges that women regardless of their racial being faced as well. So could you tell me a little bit? Told me a lot earlier about the different types of positions you had and how you started out and things like that. So would you tell me what did you like about your journey and what obstacles did you face when you went through those journey? And then the third question in one is how did you overcome them?
Okay, so I actually appreciate that my journey has been unexpected. It has not been planned, and I'm type A, 100%. I want everything to be just so. And the last 15 years of my life has been just not what I envisioned. And so I actually appreciate that because it's really I've constantly been put in positions of discomfort. And that discomfort has allowed me to grow and develop, right? If you're always comfortable, you're not growing. And so I really appreciate that about my experience. In terms of obstacles, my career 5 years ago is quite different than my career now in the sense that um, so I have two small children, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Parenting is truly a full-time job. And so um, there were opportunities that I took early in my career like that. Oh, you need me to go across the country? No problem. I'll go, right? I very rarely said no
Okay.
in the early part of my career because I was single, right? Living my best life and I could go. By the drop of a hat.
Right.
And so things are different now. I cannot take every opportunity that comes my way. And so that has been an obstacle. I think that has held me back to some extent in my career, but I don't regret that because family is everything. And, I'm not going to selfishly just uproot myself and my family for an opportunity that isn't necessary, right? Jobs come and go, but our family is where our heart should be. And so that has certainly been an obstacle of just having to say no to some opportunities that have come along because I just know it's not going to be a good fit for my family or even for my mental state, right? The last job I was in, the commute was an hour and a half one way. And it was a good job. I felt supported in the role, but over time that wore on me. And at some point, I started to have to prioritize my mental health and really think, do I want to be doing this for the next 2 to 3 years? Do I want to stay with this company, be promoted, and be in this role for 2 to 3 more years? And I really couldn't say yes to that, which is why I recently changed companies and in a new director role right now. So yeah, overcoming to answer your last question, how have I overcome those things? I think it's just a process. It's a daily process. Just trying to prioritize myself
Mhm.
and my needs,
Mhm.
the needs of my family, and trying to make the best decision there.
Okay, that's really exciting. That you're not willing to compromise, the things that are valuable to you and the people that are valuable to you in order to overcome the obstacles. Are there any other obstacles that you may be going through right now? You just started a new job, so I'm sure there's obstacles associated with
Oh, oh my. I mean, there's the normal obstacle when you start any role because you're getting to know the company, you're getting to know the culture, you're getting to know your team. This team is the first team that I've had that has um, been all Caucasian.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's been, it wasn't really something that dawned on me until I was just reflecting on my first couple of weeks in the role. I'm like, oh wow, this is really my first encounter of a full team. I've had, a small team of one, but of a full team that is not African American. And so I think what I am struggling with, and it's a daily struggle in this new role in general is imposter syndrome.
Oh,
So I'm struggling with, okay, did these folks know what they were doing when they put me in this position? Like, am I qualified for this position? Like, should I be here? And I know the answers to those questions. I know I'm fully capable of this work. I'm fully capable of leadership. I've been doing it for years and years. I have been building the toolbox, adding to the toolbox for all of these years and all of these different companies and industries. So I know that I have what it takes, but there's that little something in the back of my head at times that's like, you're not ready for this. And that's something that I am constantly just trying to adjust my mindset, right? Like, okay, let me refocus. It's like, the Etch a Sketch back in the day. I don't even know if kids know about Etch a Sketch anymore. But the ones where you shake it, you have a
right.
beautiful drawing, right? And then you shake it and then it's all gone. It's almost like I'm having to shake myself. Like, okay, get out of that mindset because you're absolutely well placed. You are where you need to be. I believe that everything in life happens for a reason, and when one door closes, another door opens. And so, um, I am constantly battling that because this role that I'm in is far more strategic than any other role that I've been in, which is great because I really need and want that experience. But my comfort sits in the employee relations space. And that's been where I've been for the past 15 years, is heavily in employee relations. I can do that work with my eyes closed in my sleep. And so transitioning to a more strategic role where we are, creating efficiencies, we're creating standards of work. We are, building the HR team. We're building the reputation of HR in our field organization. It's very different work. Um, and so I'm definitely being stretched in a new area, and that has been challenging. And getting out of my head. That's definitely the biggest challenge for me right now.
That is so true in so many incidents when we start anything new, is having
Mhm.
that imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
not knowing, like you said earlier, who we really are, trying to be somebody that we're not,
Yeah.
that's difficult. So thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. I also wanted to ask you if you could tell us some of the unique challenges that women that are working in HR experience.
Um, So, I mean, I think that we're generally well placed in this field of HR just because we're naturally, I think as women, we're naturally sympathetic.
Right.
We're naturally sort of warm and accepting. So I think those characteristics bode really well in human resources. And it helps sort of really keep the human piece in human resources. So I think that really works well for us. I think some of the challenges that we might face is towing the line when we are being people of influence, right? Because in HR, we're paid for our point of view. That's that's the bottom line, right? We are influencers oftentimes without authority. And that can be very challenging if you haven't built strong relationships. I feel that influencing is nearly impossible if you haven't built a good foundation of a relationship there. And so I feel that can be challenging for women or even women of color. Um, I think at times we may tiptoe around a conversation, whereas our counterparts, men, um, you know, n- not people who are not of color, will just say whatever comes to their mind, and that's it. You just, and you're sort of accepting it or not. And so I do think that at times one of the challenges that we face is we are trying to be so careful because we're always trying to prove ourselves. And we're always trying to show that we're worthy of being where we are. Um, Even if we're not intentionally trying to prove, I think there's a piece of us that's just trying to always prove our worth. And so I think that that can be challenging and put us in positions where we might not say exactly how we feel. We might sit back on a conference call, right? Instead of asking that question that we really have. I'm guilty of that. I'm 100% guilty of that. And I'm trying again every day, I'm trying to break myself out of that mental block that if I have a question, I should ask it, right? Somebody probably has the same question and they just don't want to ask it. If I have something to say that I think is valuable, I should say it. Um, and so I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that topic, but I think that's an area where we can struggle.
Right. And I agree with you. We all struggle with that. I what I try to do is teach women and about the importance of sharing your story,
Hmm.
what you just did. And so with being able with struggling of and being careful of wanting to please other people, we have to look back at our own values and what's important to us and to realize that our story does matter.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned earlier, that there's people that are probably struggling with the same thing that you're going through, and some of our people that are going to view this video will appreciate what you just spoken about, being not being able to really say what we want to say for
Hmm.
a variety of reasons, and those reasons usually is boils down to being judged,
Hmm.
the fear of being judged. And so,
Yeah.
with that being said, it's really vital for all of us, to speak and share our stories.
Yeah. Agree. I think
And
stories are really powerful, actually.
right,
I think that's how people get a window into who we are
right.
when we tell stories about our experience. And I think if more of us talked about our experiences, it would sort of foster more understanding, um, more sympathy. Um, and I mean, I think that's super important. I agree.
That's great. Thank you. Before we conclude, I just wanted to ask you, is there anything else you want to share with our audience today?
I do. I actually have a quote that I keep in my back pocket. I really should print it like and make it a huge billboard in my office, but I would like to share it. It says, "Be scared and do it anyway. Be underqualified and get in the room anyway. Be messy, imperfect, and unsure and show up anyway. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Get uncomfortable."
I love that. I
It's
love
good, right? Oh my gosh, I saw it and I started snapping, and
it.
I've kept it in my back pocket since then. I think it's a wonderful message for anyone who is feeling unsure, self-conscious, just needing some encouragement. Just go for it. Like what's the worst that could happen?
Right, right.
So just go for it. Take that leap of faith.
I love that. Oh my God, that is so amazing. Just go for it. You should make a poster out of that. That is beautiful. That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That is so appreciative. Well, I just want to say thank you once again for being on this podcast. I truly appreciate it. It was wonderful getting to hear from you and the obstacles that other women that are in the same field have encountered or will encounter down the road, as well as the ways that you overcame, the obstacles that was in your situation and the positions that you had, as well as the expertise and the knowledge that you provided on leadership. That is totally amazing. So I just want to thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to airing this so for lack of better words, the world can see it, okay? So
Thank
you
you
take,
so
you're
much.
so welcome. And, take good care of yourself. And we're just going to go ahead and end for right now. So I want you to have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
You're welcome. Thank you.